The Matrix Menagerie. That's what we're going to talk about here. Rethinking Reality, Dr. Robert Cassar, earthworacademy.com and earthshipproducts.com. The Menagerie. Well, what does that even mean? Menage a trois is a blending of things. A menagerie. What does the Matrix Menagerie mean? Or what it could mean? So everything we see in society right now, everything we see is what we've been told, what we hear, what we see, what we experience, what we believe, and supernaturally believe. So there's a lot of things here that we, of course, in the menagerie, the Matrix Menagerie, take those two M's and turn them sideways and you get the good 33 symbolism. Anyways, the Matrix Menagerie. So when you look around and you'll see people, the Matrix, of course, is a computer simulated, remember, sort of like a game, right? So when you watch the Matrix, you know it's going into a machine. But look at the people. Do the people have their software programs intact from birth? Do they ever get any software programs along the way, just like downloads? And I'm talking software programs. To be able to speak a different language, to be able to maybe do something different, the way you modulate your body. To be able to educate yourself, maybe in beliefs, indoctrination, and or truths, secrets, lies, or deceptions. So think about it. What is real? The Matrix Menagerie? No. The Matrix Menagerie, of course, is a group of different types of religions, different types of politics, different types of just about everything. It's black and white, as they say. Good and evil. Okay? The dark side or the light side. Pick a side. No one cares. It's the menagerie. Divide and conquer. So let's look and see. Is nature part of the Matrix Menagerie? Well, it is if it's in the city. Okay? Things that are artificially put together without actually nature having its magical touch. Just does what it wants to, when it wants to, if it wants to, and as much as it wants to. That's nature. So nature is not the Matrix Menagerie. And of course, just sort of stick with me for a sec. The Matrix Menagerie, remember, is a simulation that is man-made. So when you go ahead and see the plants and everything that live there, of course they only live there because man put those structures there. Maybe certain types of animals and creatures, pigeons and crows and whatever else, rats, mice, everything else can go ahead and live within that domain. But when you go to the nature, okay, and of course in its pure form, go to a forest. In its purest form, go to a place that hasn't been touched by so-called humans for a while. And you'll see how nature goes ahead and actually provides diversity. And you'll see how this is not a menagerie of the Matrix, it's a menagerie of nature. There's so many different forms as there are so many different forms of so-called humans. Remember, there's Earth humans. They're pretty simple people. AM 640 KFI, the news, weather, and sports. They have one channel, the news, weather, and sports. You don't need to listen to any other channel. You only have one half of your brain activated. And you got other layers that are living on the FM band. Sort of just a little parable here, but the FM band has lots of information flowing through its mind from different sources. And you better have a lot of discretion and reason in this FM band because there's just so much information. And of course, shortwave is where you start to look into the other fish bowls like the FM band and the AM band, and you start to go ahead and see the menagerie for what it is. The Matrix Menagerie. Software programmed, initiated. Remember, we dress like we do, we eat what we eat, is because we have no idea else how to do it unless we see someone else do it first. Do you really think you can walk without actually seeing someone else walk as a child? Do you think you could speak this language that we speak? That's reverse speech language. Do you think we speak this language, okay, by what? By listening to others that speak the language. By seeing someone doing a flip means that you can dream this machine to do a flip. So, software programs in nature. Do bees have a software program? Yep. Did nature give it to them? Yep. Did they go to school? Do they believe in religion? Do they believe in the money system, the ledger? There is no money, there's just paper, plastic, or what? A ledger, numbers. But it works, we have an agreement. And of course, it's part of the menagerie, the matrix menagerie. It's a fake menagerie. The menagerie, of course, in nature is a completely different menagerie, but one is of natural substance and the other is pretty much of artificial and destructive substance. Nature provides for all the creatures that live in nature, all of Sophia's creatures. Sophia's the forest. And when you go to the city, where there's highly populated people using their Bluetooth and wireless, and all the technology, technocracy, and things that basically they think is, well, just as good as sliced bread as in the 50s. You didn't buy regular loaf bread anymore. Why? Because you wanted the sliced stuff. Yeah, I know, convenience got us all over into the positions that we, of course, think that are so great. Technology, remember, doesn't really help you unless you use it for what it is. Technology will take control of you if you don't understand its power. Think of it as a ethereal, we've done lots of videos on this, ethereal parasite, the AI parasite. And if that is true, then you can see how most of the teen and youngins that have cell phones that basically are looking into a computer screen all day, looking into videos all day, looking into this maybe iPad, because now they got to do their homework with an iPad. Why? Because there's hardly any more books. And you got to do it with wireless because that's how the iPad works. Anyways, that's a menagerie. I'm going to the city right now, and I'm going to the small little matrix menagerie of Hilo. It's only got 800 people per square mile versus Los Angeles has about 8,000 people per square mile. Orange County has about almost 20,000 people per square mile. Southern California has about 21 million people. It's called population density. That's the matrix. What is everybody doing so important that's driving around? That's a question. Is what you do every day, does it add to this place we live here? Or does it take away? Do you add anything? Think about it. The menagerie only takes. And we're talking about not nature's menagerie. We're talking about the artificial menagerie, the matrix menagerie. It only takes only because it's part of an economic ledger, and everything has to be more and more and more and more, and of course it just can never be. Numbers control the world, as of course Chronos controls time. What a beautiful thing. And of course most people are under the spell. AM 640 KFI, the news, weather, and sports, they only have maybe half a brain activated. They think they're so smart, but then again, they are for half a brain activated, and they believe what they hear, what they, of course, experience, but then again, what they believe. And a lot of people kill each other over their beliefs, just remember that. And I think it's time to be able to understand that the Matrix Menagerie is a computerized software program that teaches us through 12 grades of, you can call it indoctrination, okay? Teaching facility, to be able to teach you about a lot of different things that really are not true. And there's many, including the construct we live on, including basically what a blade of grass is, because no one knows what a blade of grass is unless it says blade of grass theory. Do you really know how a seed works? No, you don't. So how do you think you can tell me how the mind works? Namasters, you can't. You can try to explain some of the things, of course, that you have new in your virtue category, your DNA, okay, latent DNA opening up and flowering, but of course someone else to go ahead and be in the same position in eyes, ears, okay, ethereal feelings and everything else to be able to share the feelings that you now have because you've activated part of yourself that they don't have activated. So you see a lot of, not destruction, but you see a lot of unconscious destruction. We know not what we do, so forgive these heathens, right? Okay, we do know what we do, and if you're destructing things and not knowing it, just think about it. Destructing things, throwing out a plastic container instead of maybe recycling it. How about not buying the plastic container at all and actually make your own water, steam distilled water? Okay, watch our videos on that. Steam distilled water. If you don't have clean water, then what do you have? Watch our sauna protocols. You have to be able to put in clean water and take out the dirty water through your pores, the largest organ of your body. So the Matrix Menagerie, remember, doesn't want you to take care of yourself. It just wants you to go along to get along. And that's a good thing. No, not saying it's not. But then again, just because someone jumps off a bridge or goes ahead and eats a bunch of processed garbage food full of chemicals, yeah, I can say it, here, pesticides, insecticides, and herbicides, and fungicides, and all different types of things that are lodged within the flesh that we eat, and of course transfers to us because it's infected meat, including and or vegetables, with parasites, with plastic, with all different types of things that make it so these types of fruits, vegetables, and meats and everything else don't fall apart so fast. Like bud nib, to be able to have your potatoes be dipped in this stuff and they'll never grow roots. And they'll never be able to replicate. They're dead. I just got some apples in the Menagerie. They came from Tacoma, Washington. I wanted to put them in my salad. It's a Fuji apple. It's been sitting on my counter and they'd never go ahead and go rotten if they were apples that grew off my tree. I don't have them right now. And it started to, I cut it in half and it started to rot from the inside out because it's been microwaved, it's been radiated. And this is the telltale sign that all foods crossing all borders in the Menagerie, the Matrix Menagerie, must be disinfected and, of course, made so they will not reproduce, maybe including the people. But you can see genetically modified foods will not reproduce. Genetically modified foods, most of them are self-propagation of pollination. Wow. All I know is I have 1,000 lychee trees and I don't have one insect. I looked at the orchard and we have trillions of flowers. Trillions of flowers, but no insects, no bees, nothing to be able to do what? Do the fertilization job, to pollinate, okay? To be able to cross-move the genes so they can go ahead and bear fruit. And without these insects, without these bees, forget the bees, they haven't been here for several years, but this year I haven't seen an insect. In fact, I did a video on where'd the insects go. Okay, where did they go? Look it up on the computer. Insect death, 2018. And just look and see if other people are seeing this weirdness in the Menagerie. Could it be RF frequencies? Could it be whatever they're, dumping in the sky? Okay, geoengineering, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Got lots of different names for spraying things into the sky, to maybe weather modification, okay, to cloud seeding, to maybe whatever, of course, you do when you spray things in the sky that you do. But it comes down, ice nucleation comes down, drought comes down, and of course it feeds upon the bacteria that live in the soil, maybe because of chemicals, pollutants, whatever the hell. All I know is I got a ton of fungus that were growing on everything. All my heirloom lettuce and a lot of my plants were burnt by something that was coming down. And in the Menagerie, of course, you don't need really insects, is because the foods that are being developed are self-pollinating. You don't need the insects anymore. And plus they're pesky little mothers, right? No flies. We don't even have any mosquitoes or fire ants. That's impossible. So anyways, I just wanted to go ahead and see. In the Matrix, I'm just going in it right now. The Matrix is a beautiful place. It is. Get in and get out. It will consume you. Silent assimilation is only because everybody else is under this sort of spell of the convenience of things that really, as you can see, the human condition is not doing too good. Yeah, I see a lot of people overweight, sick and tired, and if you talk to them, they're tired of being sick and tired. And I'm looking at some of the people here. There's people with bellies as big as an 8-month pregnant female. And he's probably 60 years old, and I'm almost 60 years old. But whoa, daddy, oh. If you haven't seen the video on what's in that big beer belly, remember, are you hungry or are they hungry? Question to ask. And now I'm seeing everybody. I see one thin person, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably 15 people here, and only maybe 3 of them I wouldn't call are at least 20 pounds plus okay, overweight. And the other ones, they're up to 50 pounds plus. And they're all on their phones. On your phone, someone not on their phone. They're not even walking right. They're all waddling, okay? They're waddling. Got their heads bent forward, and they're looking on their phones. What are you looking for? What, do you want to eat again? Don't look like you need to eat for a while. Water fasting will do a fat body good. Yes, it will. You'll transform yourself, guaranteed. But anyways, if you live in the Matrix Menagerie, guys, better figure it out. Remember, taking showers in fluoride, take a deep breath. Anyways, you got to navigate, manipulate, don't break the rules, but bend the rules. And they're the rules that everybody else follows, which of course is good. Don't speed and don't do all that kind of stuff. But there is a sort of rule that you need to bend. It's the golden rule. It's the rule of yourself. So don't poison yourself anymore. Hydrate yourself, mineralize yourself, get the toxicity out of yourself using the protocols. Terrain modification, eartheracademy.com. Okay, I'm in the city now. Yeah, and if you live in the city, you should all, if you're in Wi-Fi, any wireless, you should all get yourself a pair of underwear. Have them on recommended products. That'll shield you from RF radio frequencies, wireless technologies. Is because if you want to keep your cojones, and girls, you want to keep your 400,000 eggs, you may want to breed in the future. But then again, okay, maybe you won't want to breed. Is because, why? Because your hormones are really messed up from a lot of these different types of chemicals in your food, in your water, in your air. And I'm talking in your air. Not even so much sprayed in your air, that's one thing. So, anyways, okay, the Matrix Menagerie. Yeah, I didn't do my phone and I disconnected it. But the Matrix Menagerie, okay, is everything that we see right here that man has designed. And it's a beautiful design, right? But if you look at nature, like in the ocean, does anybody in the ocean go to school? Are the birds right there? Did they go to flight school? Okay. Did they get a degree? Or what happened to them? They had pure consciousness. Okay. Give them the software programs that we were wiped clean when we came here. Think of it this way. You come to this place here. You're born. You don't have one software program in your mind. You don't know how to speak. You don't know how to eat. You don't know how to walk. You don't even know how to poop. Or at least wipe yourself. Or even know you're pooping. So look at all the software program we call learning. Is because you came here and your brain, your slate was clean. So not only was that probably the cleanest your body's ever going to be, but it's basically a clean slate in your mind. You've never seen pornographic? And, well, you haven't watched the news. Or maybe you haven't seen the ocean or just understand what the different colors are of the rainbow. Whatever it is, remember, the mind only knows what it's seen, heard, okay, felt, experienced, touched, or told. You go to a movie and it does seem real, doesn't it? You pay money to go there, and what do? You cry, your heart starts pounding. And why? It's because to the mind it's real. So this place, to most of these people, this place is real, but in fact, remember, it's artificial. It's an artificial place. It's actually pretty beautiful. It's in the bay. Look at the roads. Okay, it's called the Matrix. And off, if you look at all the people as being simulations, that person, I don't know, but they're going somewhere. The person that's flying in on a plane, they're coming here to do something. Everybody going in and out of the parking lot is doing something here that makes sense to them in their world. So the Matrix Menagerie. Oh, look at that rainbow way out there. The Matrix Menagerie. Okay? That rainbow way out there is nature's menagerie, if you can see it. So nature's menagerie is, well, natural, and every time you see it, it'll never be the same thing that you see. Is because it doesn't have any form to it. It does what it wants, when it wants, if it wants, and as much as it wants. And the Matrix, of course, has many boundaries. So in your mind, guys, if you want to go ahead and become your healed self, your healer of yourself, then all you got to do is have a flexible mind. and know that there is much more than what the matrix menagerie can give you. Nature can give you a lot of things. Look, it can give me all those oranges on the ground. It's giving me my drink right here that I have, my kombucha, and I got lemons in there, MSM, magnesium minerals, silica, all the stuff. It's because that's my menagerie. That's the Cassar menagerie. Okay, so anyways, the matrix menagerie, remember, it's a slow takeover of your mind, because everything you do, everything you say, everything you believe, of course, most of the people that live in the heavy, dense populations, they believe what most people believe, which of course is collectively just about the same thing. And that's not a bad thing, as long as everybody's not confused, but you see confusion in every section, even biological confusion. You have mental confusion, you have heart feeling confusion, you have confusion on what to eat. See these people, okay? You have confusion on even, what to do as exercise. Yes, you do. So just have a flexible mind. And remember, the matrix menagerie will not support you. It won't, okay? You have to support it, but then again, remember, a ledger is not losing your life over. And the ledger, of course, is money that we, of course, have an agreement to say it's real. Paper, right? Checks, plastic, credit card, or let me send you some numbers. That's the way it works. Or let's say you got $50,000 in the bank and you want to go to the bank and get something physical back, like some gold or something that's got some worth to it. Now you get a piece of paper. It goes from numbers to paper back to another bank that's going to hold your numbers for you and give you a little bit of interest, maybe, to be able to hold your numbers in jail, so they can give your numbers to someone else, so they can do something with those numbers, and so on down the line. What an insanity. Okay, it's called the Matrix. And of course, the natural matrix doesn't have those games, doesn't play those games. But the unnatural matrix, again, look at this beautiful, beautiful rainbow. Right in that area, if you can't see it. Okay. And the natural matrix, of course, is such a beautiful thing that I must live in it. At least where I feel that a lot of other creatures can live in the things that I take care of. Think of that. You have a bunch of fruit trees. Well, you're providing a nest and food for a lot of different things, including insects. Like I said, where'd the insects go? I got a lot of flowers right now and they got nectar on them and no one's coming to have some. The spider's webs, okay, is their kitchen, and their spider webs have nothing in them and they're not broken, so they didn't catch anything. So anyways, all right, the matrix menagerie. Do what you can, when you can, if you can. Terrain modification. The more you clean up your body, the more you will see the matrix for what it is, and it does have a lot of good things. I'm not saying it's not, but don't be consumed by the matrix. Make sure you get out in the natural matrix in nature at least 2 hours a week, at least. And at least if you can't go ahead and be in the natural matrix, then go to a park or something where it's still in the matrix menagerie, but at least it's got some green. Okay, anyways, we'll see you on the next video. Aloha, and think about it. Matrix menagerie. Okay, how deep are you in the menagerie? Are you in the natural menagerie, or are you in the artificial menagerie and loving it? Okay, it's just a question for yourself, rethinking reality. And what are you going to do about it once you see it? Well, you're going to have to start leaving the population zones and going to a place that has less people, so you have more people that actually speak to each other instead of just a bunch of simulations running around trying to grab a nut. Okay, the less people you have around you in your neighborhood, the more you'll get to know them. Yes, you will. And if you got people that live next door and someone lives right next door to them and right next door to them, then all you do is you don't even know them and you're pissed off when their music's on just a little bit. Or you can hear their television at night, or maybe if they get into an argument or their dog's barking. Who knows? So anyways, get some space between yourself, and of course, make sure you start loving yourself. And loving yourself means that you're gonna really start to take care of your body in a way that you didn't even know that you could, and it's easy to do. So we just did a good video on skin cleaning, okay, the basics, my tips, okay, on how to be able to not only clean your skin, but how to protect your skin and how to make the oil to do it. So, okay, we'll see you on the next one. Learn the fasting, sauna, minerals, hydration, and those are some really easy terrain modification departments to add to your system without even changing too much. Oils, salts, sugars, learn how to use the right ones. If not, then you will be consumed by the matrix menagerie. Of course, all the false chemicals, all the synthetics, all the hormones, all the antibiotics, all the pharmaceuticals, all the things that basically from Roundup, glyphosate, herbicides, fungicides, all things that basically have residue on just about everything that you have, that you eat. And once you even stop eating these, what are you going to do? You're going to start removing some of the matrix menagerie stuff that's accumulated in you. And if you don't think so, again, you're being foolish, because yes, it is true. You do have a lot of parasites inside you, and if you think you don't, then you need to fast so you can go ahead and see some of these weird demons come out of you. And once you see one, then you'll say, I'm a believer. I know you're a believer. All you got to do is see one. Okay, that's it. If you haven't seen our video on me doing a surgery on a fish, an albacore or amberjack, and we're going to check for parasites in fish, and wait until you see the 18-inch cestodes, the tapeworms I take out of their flesh, crawling through their flesh, boring through their flesh. Check it out. It's a good surgery. Okay, we'll see you on the next video. Aloha. Okay, got one last view of the rainbow. Okay, that's it. Aloha.